very calming. It's a way to commune with nature. You can just do it without distractions. And you can watch something become of your work. And it's usually something that's beautiful or edible or both. It's nice to have a nice tomato that you grew and they're so super delicious compared to anything you could buy in a store. They're fresh, they're completely organic, and I can feed people.
It's something I can do and not think about anything else. I'm just like right there in the zone. My mind is not worrying about anything. It's just thinking about what I'm doing in the garden. I like the wildness of it and the surprise every year. What looks good, what doesn't, what's coming up, what's abundant, what has died down. I just like that every year.
I always love that my cats are, like I feel like they're these spaces I create for my animals so that they can enjoy and relax in and be safe in. But I wasn't as tuned into other animals before I started gardening. And I used to be like, I have to wear garden gloves so I don't touch a worm. And now I could practically eat them. I understood that people liked watching birds, but I just did not really get it. And now I really do. They look like little gentlemen to me in my garden or on the feeder or whatever. And I appreciate them. I know they're gonna come and eat the cabbage worms or slugs.
When I was little, my dad always had a big garden in Wisconsin. And my dad grew up very poor, and so he couldn't really garden when he was growing up because he lived in the city. In our house, he had a big yard and a big garden, and he grew everything. And I love to help him. I even like to weed the garden.
I moved to a house I could afford in Milwaukee, and it wasn't a familiar environment to me. It wasn't what I grew up with. It wasn't what looked beautiful to me. What I was used to was like a very amazing landscape that my mom made by transplanting stuff from the woods and the sides of the road, you know, doing all these native landscapes before anyone thought that was okay at all. I think she doesn't like talk about gardening like as though she has any rhyme or reason or knowledge, but she does. She was like, oh, I just can't do this. I just scratch these little holes and then I just make a little scratch in the ground and then put the smallest possible plant. I think she just like sees that's the way that it is most natural, and who does it better than, the forest, right?
For one thing, I didn't have that much money at that time. So, it just seemed reasonable. You go around and there's, you know, plate like abandoned houses or something that had stands of daylilies or whatever they had. And so I did dig stuff up. I just loved it that it wasn't just flat grass. It was interesting, colorful, lots of variety. I don't have any philosophy or I never have planned anything. I just plopped something in and that's how it happened.
I just want to give a plug for decorative kitchen gardens. They, turn your vegetable garden into a landscape. It's really pretty. They're all bordered by flowers. There's a lot of flowers in the garden. I let flowers reseed where they want to, if they're flowers I want. For most of the season, my vegetables don't have many holes in them and stuff. They look really good. And I think it's because there's a good balance.
My aunt had all this ajuga in her yard, and I took a little bit, and I still have it in my yard. My Aunt Bessie, my Aunt Bessie and Uncle Harry have been dead for years and years and years, but I still have some of that ajuga in my yard. So yeah, it's fun. And you get stuff from anybody they give it to you, and then you remember them. You have that in your yard, and you can always think, oh, I got that from that person. So it's interesting. Connections.
Well, I like the birds and the bugs
Yeah.
and the bees, so I try to keep them happy. I don't like snails and I don't like tomato worms. I think it's going to be a banner year.